Police, the public, and city agencies, the CAPS partnership that makes neighborhoods safer. I'm Peter Carl, and this is Chicago Crime Watch. It operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. An open-air drug operation that raked in $1 million a year. But now it's out of business, thanks to an alert community and a successful police investigation. It was dubbed Operation Moonseed, and now 16 people face drug charges.
Operation Moonseed was a 3-month operation that we conducted in the 10th District, specifically the 1200 block of South Lawndale.
The investigation revealed that the block was problematic, profitable, and well organized. The Gangster Disciple Street Gang operated in broad daylight with no regard for senior citizens or children attending routine school or church activities.
Crack cocaine and heroin were distributed 24 hours a day near 7 churches and the Herzl School. The drug operation led to gang violence and a lot of complaints from the community.
I think this operation is an excellent example of cooperation among a variety of groups. You know, it started out with community complaints, not being happy around dope dealers and gangbangers, and they brought it to the police here in the 10th District. We conducted some missions.
Those missions led to the Moonseed undercover investigation, which brought police to this apartment building on the 1200 block of South Lawndale and some very dangerous drug buys.
They were doing a lot of the drug dealing in the vestibule of 1238 South Lawndale. We sent an undercover officer in there, and they made him wait in the lobby while they ran up to the 3rd floor. It's extremely dangerous because he's usually in there by himself. It's very hard to maintain eye contact on him since he's going into a building, and we're relying on overhear equipment.
The boss of this open-air drug operation, according to police, was this man, Tyrone Bowlegs Bush. He was arrested.
We know that when we target the gang hierarchies at the highest level of organized crime, we can prevent criminal activity from continuing to plague our communities.
We are a safer community today because of the work of Chicago's finest. I want to say congratulations to the Chicago Police Department and the 10th District in particular for the great work and the arrest you've made here today.
Acting 10th District Commander Judith Martin says police will continue to watch the area and tells the community they must also remain vigilant.
I do believe, though, that if we see incidents increasing or this type of activity starting to start up again, that they need to once again, keep us involved.
Last year, police shut down 55 open-air drug markets in Chicago. Operation Moonseed is the 3rd shutdown this year. And here's another example of what happens when a community stands up against violence. 10 years ago, residents on 79th and Carpenter Street said, "Enough is enough." They formed a block club, and now, a decade later, have quite a success story.
In '98, we were deemed the worst block in the city of Chicago, and that's a bad title to have. We've had gangbangers, we had drugs, open market drugs, we had killings. That was our biggest problem. We had so many young people to lose their life in those few years.
The whole block was a nightmare. People threw garbage all over the place. There was a lot of violence. Pretty much it was just chaos.
That was then, this is now. Welcome to 79th and Carpenter Street in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood. A block transformed into a model place to call home.
I love this block. I love this block. I love this block so much that I'm looking to buy something on this block to move my mom on this block, along with her grandchildren, because of all of the great things that's happening on the block. We're truly a family.
So how did the turnaround happen on 79th and Carpenter? How did it become a place where residents are no longer afraid to come out of their homes, where buildings are kept up, sidewalks are cleaned, and the sounds of bullets no longer ring down the block? The answer? Years of hard work and a very strong-willed and determined block club president.
The improvements that you see are the result of commitment by the residents over there, that they committed to the block club. Betty Swanson was instrumental in that. She was really the initiative behind it and continues to do this 10 years later.
Betty Jo Swanson has lived on the block since 1964. She's never wanted to leave the area. So when times got tough, she, along with some neighbors, decided to take action.
So we started coming out, cleaning up, sitting on the front. If they stood, we stood. And if they run, we asked them, should we run too?
Back in July 1998, 79th and Carpenter was one of the areas where hundreds of men marched to reclaim their community. Today, as residents watch the tape from that night, they marvel at how far they've come.
Older people and the young people go out have fun, our children go out have fun, no violence, no nothing. You just feel comfortable when you walk out the door and come home. They had no fear, and it's good.
The changes came one step at a time. It's a parking lot today, but 10 years ago, a large apartment building stood on this property, filled with drug dealers, squatters, and prostitutes. Swanson and the residents worked with the alderman's office and other city agencies and eventually got the building torn down. They also got new lights and a cul-de-sac installed on the end of the block.
That helped because it slowed down all the traffic that used to come through here to pick up the drugs and shoot in here real fast and get out of here real fast, so that was a big blessing.
When it came to the problem houses, the group worked with the Neighborhood Housing Service and the Greater Auburn Gresham Development Corporation.
Yeah, that's fine. With NHS, for instance, we identified a couple of houses on the block, bungalows, that were in dire need of repair. They were vacant. With NHS, we were able to acquire those homes, renovate those homes. We did a large marketing campaign with the Department of Housing. We had the mayor out here for this dedication, if you will, and then we worked to find new owners for the homes.
One of those new owners is Jasmine McAlphin. Her home had been a smokehouse before it was totally gutted and renovated.
I think about for the 6 to 1 year after I moved in, the people were still coming by, ringing the bell, looking for drugs. People would walk past as I was watering the lawn saying, I remember when we used to get high in the basement here. I remember when there was no grass, it was all dirt. I remember when the windows were falling apart. So, and they just wow at the changes that were made.
Part of the success on 79th and Carpenter can also be attributed to the partnership between the 6th District CAPS office and the Block Club.
We've worked in partnership with them, making sure that they understand the problems and the strategies that they're supposed to come up with to solve the problems that they've been having on their block.
Whether they're working on their own, like Sam, who's made it his mission to keep the block clean, or as a group making plans for their 10-year anniversary block party this summer.
Tony, since you chair the youth committee, this year for the block party, any idea?
Residents of 79th and Carpenter all agree. They're proud of what they've been able to do on their block, especially when they think back to what it was like before.
Was that really us? And said, okay, if we were there then and where we are now, what did we do right? But whatever it is, we're going to keep trying it. So we had to do something right.
The 79th Street Block Club's big anniversary party will be in July. If you have a success story about your block club, we'd love to hear about it. Call the CrimeWatch hotline at 312-446-8689. That's the latest from the CrimeWatch news team. I'm Peter Carl. Thanks for watching.